So I was kicking with some of my homies this past weekend, and we were kind of just shooting the shit, just drinking and conversating. And if anybody knows me personally, they know that I love telling stories. I'm good at it, and I've been through like a lot. I've gotten to do a lot of things that people haven't got to do, like go to expos and then like just meet a lot of people. And I just have these fucking crazy stories. Back when I was with Strength Cartel and I was doing the all the expos and the lifting and all this stuff like that. One of my favorite stories I was telling this weekend that all my friends were like, dude, you should fucking make a video about that and tell that story because it's hilarious. And it's not so much for me, but it was for Big Bruce. So I'll give a little background. Back when we first got with Strength Cartel, started Strength Cartel like 6-7 years ago, whatever time it was only like the main four people. It was like me, Gino, Pitbull, and Big. And there was a lot of outside guys that were like, that supported us and rock the brand and would come to expos for us. And like, but we had like this core set of guys first before we started bringing all these people on. And Bruce had been one of those guys that showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of determination, and kind of let it be known that he would do anything to be on the squad. He just like, it was just one of his big goals in his life during that time. And he had seen all the success that me, Gino, Big, and Bruce, Gino and Pitbull had during that time, going to expos, people waiting in line to meet us, just business opportunities coming our way, stuff like that. And he kind of like idolized that lifestyle a little bit. I don't think he should have, but that's kind of one thing that during the time of his life he wanted. So he'd always tell me, and we'd have all these conversations, and people talk about how emotional Bruce is and stuff like that, and they haven't seen the half of what Bruce has been through, or how his inner self and his inner dialogue has really gotten to him. There was a point in time that I had to sit and talk with him for 2, 3, 4 hours, just giving him perspective on life and showing that if he has gratitude and he has the right perspective, that he'll always be happy, to never look at the end goal, to try and enjoy that journey. But for whatever reason, he really wanted to be on Strength Cartel. So I was his biggest advocate when it came to that. So what would happen, and because Big never really wanted to bring anybody on the team, he would always ask me, is there anybody you think that deserves to be on the team, or that would work really well with our team camaraderie, how we have, because we were like brothers, and we wanted to make the lifting world a better place. So we wanted to make sure if we brought anybody on the team that it was a right fit. It didn't mess up the camaraderie we already had with each other, but it only amplified it. So Bruce was one of those guys that I was in his corner, and I was like, I got my boys back. He's gonna contribute a lot to his team if he has that opportunity, or if the opportunity arises. So I told Bruce, because he would pretty frequently ask me like, why am I not good enough? Why am I not good enough to be on the team? Whatever. This is all just to set the tone for you in terms of how much he cared, right? Because it's gonna get to a funny point, but he just cared so much, and now it seemed like it was his life goal to be on Strength Cartel. So I was gonna help him do that, and I was gonna be his biggest advocate. So Big told me, if I ever ask you to bring somebody, bring someone that that's gonna show out, that will show a ton of heart, and that is likable and will add something to the team. And he had met Bruce 1 or 2 times, but to be completely honest, he was really weary about him crying and being emotional, just because a lot of us, even though we do get slightly emotional, we like to hide it because it is kind of embarrassing sometimes, especially if someone calls you out, oh, you fucking cry baby, whatever. But Bruce, I taught Bruce how to hone in on it, and then kind of really use it as a gift opposed to a detriment to himself, and he really did a great job with doing that. So one day, Big calls me and he's like, hey, yo, we're about to do a squat. Back then, we used to make 2 or 3 squat YouTube videos a week. Me and Gino would drive up from San Diego 2 or 3 times a week to Orange County to Kratos before I took the gym over. And we would make videos. We would just make videos. Most of the time it was deadlift videos. That's another story. I mean, we did so many deadlift videos that there was a point that I had to walk or crawl to the bathroom just to get in a warm bath so I could stand up straight. I was deadlifting like 3 or 4 times a week. Heavy, like 7 plates, 8 plates, like twice a week, But he calls me, you have anybody that you want to bring today that might want to show out? We're doing squats. I mind you that during this time, we were all pretty big squatters. Like, all of us were either 700 or 800 pound squatters at this time. So like me, Gino, Pitt, Big. So it's about to go down on this video, and we're like, and I'm prepping the guys for the US Open. I think it was the first US Open. I was coaching him, and it was a really heavy day. I think it was like heavy doubles or something like that. Big had like something under 800 for a double. Pitt had like maybe like mid sixes for something, like it was gonna be a heavy day, and I was doing 700s for that day. And so I'm like, man, I know Bruce can't squat that much, but he puts on a show. It's like a spectacle every time he touches a barbell, and he's like starting to get amped up, right? So I called him. I said, Bruce, drop fucking everything you're doing right now. You're gonna get an opportunity to get on a Strength Cartel, and I need you to show the fuck out. I don't want you to make me look bad because I'm really putting my name on the line for you right now, so I need you to show out. Mind you, I did not know that this man had eaten really bad Chinese food earlier in the day, and he was on the pre-stages of food poisoning. So he was throwing up, and he was shitting all over the place. Like, he wasn't in a good place, but he didn't say shit to me about it. This is my opportunity. I have to go and shine. This is my opportunity to make the team, make my dreams come reality. And he didn't want to lose that opportunity because it finally had presented itself. So I pick him up. I gave him like 20 minutes notice, like, be ready in 15 minutes. I'm coming to your house. Like, this ain't a drill. Like, get your shit ready. So I go get him. He doesn't say a fucking word to me about what he ate, or he wasn't feeling good. He didn't say shit to nobody, and he's just acting like it's a normal day. So I'm like, bet, let's go. Let's fucking just go ham. And I know you'll make me proud. Just, like I said, don't you ever give up on yourself. I won't give up on you. And that's kind of how the conversation was in the car. And I told him I believed in him, and I really put out for him. And I really told Big that I think he deserves to be on the team. Just let him prove himself. And so he was geeked up. He's fucking amped, dude. Like, just fucking out of his ass, just like getting riled up in the car. And he has these like white spandex on. I'm like, okay, that's a pretty aggressive move for a big man to wear, white pants on like pretty much a squat max out day. I think around this time, Bruce's 1 rep max on squat was like maybe 545 or like on a like maybe low sixes, if that. But I'm pretty sure it was like mid 500s. So I was coaching him too, but it wasn't for the US Open. But I had him go heavy doubles for, I think it was like 555. So I asked him to take something he's done for 1 rep and to do it for 2 reps. Just to see how much heart he had, just to really prove himself to Big, and then so we can get the ball rolling and get him on the team. So we're warming up, and everything's moving. Everybody's doing well. The energy is good. We're like fucking getting amped, and we're really just playing off each other's energies. And then Bruce is getting up, and he's like fucking screaming, how he does, crying. Woo, let's go, fuck yeah, woo! He's going nuts, and I'm like, dude, it's about to be, one of those lifting sessions that you remember forever. But little did I know then it would be a different reason why I would remember it forever. So we get up to his working max. He's the first out of all of us because he just had the lighter weight. And that's how we would work up in warm-ups. Whoever had the lightest weight would do their first working sets first. And so he's at 555, and we're all getting jacked out our asses because, he's never done it for 2 reps, and he's just getting nuts. He's starting to get into that zone that I taught him how to get into, that it's like, you don't even know who he is. You're kind of looking at him, and it's like you're a whole nother person right now. And that's where he got to. And then so he unracks the bar, and I'm the only one spotting him. And I'm going to remind you that he has white spandex on. And I think at this time, he had taken his shorts off, and he was just in white spandex. I think that's what the case was too. So he takes his bar off, and he's like, screaming, doing his normal like freak out. And then I'm standing behind him. I'm standing close because I don't know if he's going to have enough power that day. Because sometimes Bruce's legs would just give out. And then the bar would just drop because he had a really bad knee problem. So sometimes it would bypass his quads. His quads would give out completely. And he would just get stuck in the bottom of a squat. So some days that would happen at like 315. And his squat was, 200 pounds more than that. So I stayed really close with him. I had my hands like just, hovering on his chest. And I'm like right on him, right? That's how you're supposed to spot somebody who's about to do a max effort rep. So I'm coming down, and then he grinds out this first one, like hard grind. But then when he does it, I start smelling something like just rancid, like fucking hard on the nostrils. And I'm just like, what the fuck is that, dude? I said, oh God, I hope he didn't shit on himself. And then like just in that moment, it just hit me like, dude, this fool, his white spandex are fucking turning brown. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, he just shit on himself. And then the normal person would, just, fuck, dude, I shit on myself. I'm gonna fucking rack the weights up. He didn't do that. He didn't do that. I'm sitting behind him and I'm getting ready to grab the bar to like push him back in because, bro, nobody wants to take a second rep with a butt full of shit and like butt cheeks are all shitty and I'm behind him spotting him and he knows I'm behind him spotting him. Like, you're not gonna projectile shit in my lap, bro. Like, that's just don't do that. But then he just goes down to a second one. I don't think I just go down with him. All right. And then all I hear is like fucking just an eruption out of his ass. It's like, and I'm like, oh, I'm sticking with him. Like, oh fuck, what the fuck? And then he's going up and everybody's getting hyped because nobody knows that Bruce just shit on himself. Like, hardcore shit on himself. Like, it's running down his legs. It's getting on the floor. It's like his whole white spandex behind us is just fucking brown. Like, it was nasty. It was like fucking just baby diarrhea shit. So then he racks that weight and everyone's going crazy. Yeah, Bruce, you crazy motherfucker. Yeah, woo. And they're all like chest bumping him and shit. And then he just looks and turns at me and I'm like, looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, dude, what the hell did you just do? Like, did you shit on yourself? And he's like, hey, Topo, I think I just shit on myself. I said, you think you just shit on yourself? You 100% shit on yourself. You almost shit on me. And then he just takes off running to the bathroom and like there's just a big ass shit trail like on the floor on the way in on the old gym Kratos. And it's just like at 10 o'clock at night. There's nobody in the gym. So luckily that there wasn't no people in the gym, but homeboy really took a shit on himself on his first rep, cared enough to take it for a second rep, and how disgusting it is and how, you know, bad it smelled for me spotting. That moment almost proved himself too big, too Pitt, too Gino, to me. And from that day on, he actually got on the team. So that moment was the moment that he proved to us that it was worth the struggle and it was worth it to him. And he would basically do anything to be successful with us. So then that's when we actually brought Bruce onto the Strength Cartel team. Was the moment he, after he did a max effort squat and shit all over himself. I think that's a testament to no matter like what your goals are, like don't let nothing stand in your way. It's such a funny metaphor or like an actor or whatever you want to call it, simile. But it is a real play on words because, to be completely honest, if he would have racked that weight after the first rep, he probably wouldn't have been on the team. It was that rep that nobody wanted him to do and nobody thought he could do because Bruce was like a guy that could do a rep and make it look like he was, you know, inches away from failing. Like, it was like you wouldn't even think about doing a second rep, and then he would take it for another, and then he would do that rep easier than he did the first rep. So in this case, he didn't do that. Like, it was still a hard-ass rep, and he shit all over himself. But there was a lesson to be learned in that. It's like, man, this guy cares so much about the goals he set for himself that he's not going to let a little shit hold him back from, you know, reaching that goal. So I just wanted to share that story. I think I'm going to start doing a series on the funny shit that I've done or encountered over the years of us traveling, like, you know, however, like 20, 30 expos a year. It was a lot. I was like almost every weekend we were traveling somewhere, but every city I've been to, there's a funny ass story. And I'm thinking like maybe I should just start a story time with Topo. So comment below to if you want to hear some more funny ass stories, because I got some like ball buster stories, and I'm lucky enough to be able to tell stories in a way that it's funny and it's meaningful, and hopefully this was makes somebody laugh, or you can see like a silver lining in this story. So just comment below, let me know if you want me to start doing more stories like this. I guarantee you I got like some funny ass stories that nobody knows about, and it's usually about like, you know, the guys and us, like, you know, having fun together, us doing things that brothers do, whatever. So if you guys want to know, let me know, and I promise to upload as much as I can and the content be as quality as possible.